know if we're going to really have to do some work on this play, but that's what it's not perfect here right now, but I want to work on this thing because it's so powerful. I want to do this. It's a reach, and that's what I go after. You know, I love that reach.
Do you like it when there are stage directions in a script so that says what you're supposed to do, or do you like the scripts without any direction?
Well, I think they're important, and I think that there's no harm in trying them. And then, if it feels right, then do it. Otherwise, get rid of it.
You don't feel that you are obliged to do it
God,
because they say
no,
do
absolutely
something.
not. No.
What's more important than the text or the director? John, for example.
I have to answer that.
No, Leah will answer it.
Oh, I will answer it. I guess ultimately, well, everybody might have a different take on it, but I think the material has to lead you somewhere. Case in point, let me see. There was all of this material for Flower Drum Song, and we got rewrites upon rewrites, and thank goodness David was in the room with us every single day, you know, just ready to pen out a different line or a different way of delivering something, even though it means the same thing. And that's pretty much our map. We've got a map, okay. Then you've got navigator, you've got the director to tell you which way, to help you which way you can, you know, try going. So yeah, you got to have a good script too. It's really helpful if it is good.
Can the director change enough to make something a hit and make it good? The material isn't actually there.
They can try.
You can try.
You can try,
Well,
but
you've been
I
directing,
think,
I mean,
I think if the material isn't, if you don't have good material, it's just saying it ain't going to work.
You can't pull it together,
I don't
so
think
it doesn't matter who the director is.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Because I think a good script will ultimately direct itself, and then everybody will kind of have a similar thought into how a scene will be done, and you all can kind of ride the same ride, and you're all feeling kind of, it's kind of like a, I don't know, some psychic moment of some sort, and you just all kind of, when you finish with the scene work, you're all like, whoa, was that a ride or what? It's fun.
You know, the reason why I asked the question is because over a period of my life, I've had so many different experiences with different roles. And I remember when they asked me to audition for 1776, I wanted to do the John Adams part. And but they kept asking me to do the Rutledge part. And I turned down the Rutledge because Rutledge was the governor from South Carolina, and I didn't want to play a Southerner. I had never played a Southerner, and instead I'd always played Englishman or something to hide my identity. And then a year later, I'd been doing stuff in the regions, and I called my agent and I said, I want to do something. I don't give a damn what it is. I want to stay in New York. And they said, well, you know, they're replacing the Rutledge character in 1776. I said, sure, I'll do it. I knew I'd get it. I knew that. But my attitude about it was so strange and negative. And yet I knew, after all these years, I knew that there was something that I was supposed to do. I knew it was an area that I was supposed to break open. It's like the same 30 years later, when they asked me to do All My Sons. I had been in a production in 1947, 50 years earlier, of All My Sons, played the neighbor next door in college. And I was very reluctant to do it for a totally different reason. And I didn't realize it, but I was afraid to play that part because I didn't like that guy. And the Rutledge was so easy for me, and I didn't want to do it. But it was very important for me, and it's been making me wonder. Now I'm looking back over years that but I'm wondering about young people. How do they make this? It's strange that you don't know. And I wonder, how do you find out?
You don't have to like the character.
Like you had an epiphany. You had to pull over the side of the road. There's not much doubt that's the role you're supposed to do. But
I have a question.
Sometimes you don't know.
A question.
Oh, I have a question. It's been in my experience, and it's kind of worked like in parallel with my own personal life, that I get a script or I get offered a part, and for some reason it directly reflects on what's happening in my life. I just want to know if that's happened to anybody else too. Like it comes at the right time in your life, and it serves as an outlet or a channel for you to work through whatever's going on in your life.
Yeah, I think you choose things sometimes unconsciously for that reason.
I think that's probably true.
That is what it is, I think.
When even when you're scared or when you're disdainful, or then you ought to take a second look, just like you did. See, somebody else told you, God told you, or whatever it was. But I think that's an interesting point, that we don't have control all the time over of the best things in us. See, I work from the outside. I don't know even which, inside out.
Inside out and outside in.
I think that's
You're the British. You're in the British
Now
side.
I'm hungry. Thanks a lot.
What you see is what you get. No, but the truth is, probably I don't. There's something that works, and it's working inside for me anyway. So it's interesting to me.
Are you inside out or outside in?
It depends.
You can go both ways.
That first
even
scene,
know
he's
the
working from
difference.
the outside.
Well, the British, I think. The
In
British.
the news
I wish
there.
I knew. I've never actually stood, so I don't know what it is.
He doesn't have to do anything in that.
No,
first scene. It works.
don't touch it. If it's working, don't touch it.
We talked
Actually,
about
just don't
theater
touch it.
performances.
I don't want to know.
John tells me that he only
Yes.
does how many performances a week?
Oh, I'm not supposed to tell people that. I only do 6 now.
Oh, this is
Totally
good.
unprofessional.
I think that's shocking.
I think it's
See what I mean?
That's
It's one of the things that's all-
I think 8 a week is cruel.
8 a week is
That's
shocking.
cruel.
It's not too
Never-
bad.
it's
It's not
so
too bad if you want
civilized
you're used
to
to
do
it.
that.
And you have to film as
Edie
well.
and I are-
mean, how, are you
Wait,
finished?
no, this is
you're
my
not finished.
hiatus, so
okay,
I'm not
your
on
hiatus
film right
is 8 shows.
How many performances a week?
8.
8. Okay, 8,
I do 7,
7. You get one off.
but I have a 2-hour
Well, I was the
show.
only one in the show for a year who didn't miss.
You get points for that.
I did miss, but my wife had to go to the hospital. That's when I missed. The only time that in a year. So I mean, I did my time. Trust me now.
What makes the difference? All through the years, you did 8 shows a week. Why now do
Well,
you
I'll
think?
tell you what the difference is for me. It's when I remember when I came into the business, 8 shows a week with a Wednesday matinee and a Saturday, the matinees on the 4 on the weekend. That I could handle. What was really tough is when they switched to 5 on the weekend.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
then you only have Monday to recuperate from 5 shows, bam, 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 bam. That, and then come back on Tuesday. By Tuesday, you're still aching. And you get it makes it so difficult with that 5 thing, but it's good for the producers, for the money and everything, and the people coming into town. I can usually handle that Wednesday, if you have that Wednesday matinee. It's not as bad, but the 5.
Well, I'll tell you the reason. It's exactly the reason, because we were on that same schedule. The reason, Isabelle, is that I was having trouble with a hip flexor, because this is a very dangerous show. We're with the walking wounded. We've got people with broken feet and then perform all the time. But I couldn't get well. After a year and a half, it'd be like playing baseball for an entire season and not having 3 months off. You don't get any time off in actors. Don't get time off. Very interesting. This makes no sense at all. But when I was doing Man of La Mancha, I heard about a production that was being done in the stage manager wanted to open a production in Spain of Man of La Mancha. And I was playing Kylie's alternate at the time. Kylie wasn't doing the matinees, and I was doing the matinees for him. They went over there, and the director, the stage manager came out and said, "Do you know that they do 7 days a week over there, and they do a matinee every performance, and there are no understudies?"
Ouch.
What? How do you figure that? How do you figure? All I can say is that
No union. No union.
well, that's it. But that's true, and that's in Spain. That's the way they do it. I guarantee you, they don't get the same kind of production that they would.
Well,
if
of course
they were,
not, yeah.
I mean, if you ask a pitcher in baseball to pitch every day, or an opera singer to sing every day, they can't do it.
Oh, I think that's a different thing. I think working the theater and doing your performances 8 times a week should be what your goal is.
That's because you're thinking like a producer. I'm telling you. I have to do it. And I've done it for 45 years, and I've done nothing but 8 performances. And I'm
That's right.
telling you, I did it because if they wanted me, the only reason I could get it, if you want to know the honest truth, is I'd walk away. It didn't make any difference to me. I don't have to work, and I would simply leave. That's the arrogant John Cullum talking like that. They can get somebody else to do
And the
the
level
role.
of the work has
but,
changed too.
I enjoy doing that show, and if
People
they
are
want it,
doing
then they can have it.
amazing things. I mean, the musicals are almost competing with movies. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on that seems like that is just like the level of the work has gotten so so high. The risk of injury, and I remember at one point we were doing